Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Oh, for a die Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya tutu man, everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya tutumon, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gagao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.
I'll make you proud, Grandma. Promise.
That's better. Okay, we're done.
The property limits.
Sir, please wait here.
I need you to stay by the car.
Okay, I got it.
Just tell me what happened.
Has been breached. Confirmed reports of multiple attacks in the capital.
Please, we're now in a state of alert.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. You that wanna know what we're all about. It's like this, y'all.
It's your record. I cannot get it out in the mail tonight.
Concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100%
Come on in.
Yes, but I didn't.
Details emerging of a major political scandal shaking the island.
but I didn't expect it here. Where else would it be?
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
It took just 24 hours for us to lose control of the city. Tonight, Gotham's relying on emergencies.
A few moments later.
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
She's working style. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Just Pirates Cove in beautiful Ipan Talafofo, Tocha, Guam, USA. Today, we're on episode number 41, season 2. It's May 3rd, 2026. We got a great guest here, Jon Savares, aspiring to be senator, Charlie Hermosa, and Amber. So we'll start off. We haven't done this in a while, but we need to talk about Don Farrell and his book. So what do you got, Amber?
We have 3 of Don Farrell's books. We have Liberation, Guam, A Brief History, and CBs and Superforts.
So all of these books are on sale in the gift shop. We're running low on these. We have a lot of the Liberation, and I think we have a few of the CBs left, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to get a great gift or a great present for somebody, come down, buy one of these books. Don Farrell has having some medical problems. He's up in Tinian. He needs to go to the States for some heart surgery, and he has a GoFundMe. And anybody who would like to help him, please try to help him. Just look up Don Farrell under GoFundMe and you can help. Now, we've had cleanup all over Guam for the, what was the name of that storm? How do you say it? Sinlaku. I have a tough time with names, but I noticed that the biggest site for bringing all your waste and everything up to Oka Point is closing down. And I know the mayor here in Telefofo was helping because we took some household stuff up there recently. So we want to get the island cleaned up fast. Everybody please do your part. I saw Public Works working hard in East Agania, taking all the sand off the road from the waves that came up. The whole island had a huge surge from this storm. Even here on the beach, we measured 162 feet where the surge came up. But we lost a total of 6 ironwood trees that were taken out by the erosion, and we're hard at work building back. So John, tell us a little bit about yourself, and well, you still got this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Amber's got some more here.
So we have women's V-neck tie-dye shirts. We have different colors.
That's a V-neck, ladies with a skull and crossbone.
Then we have the Guam signpost. This is one of our new designs. We have this in long sleeves, tank tops, adult sizes, and kid sizes.
You sold a lot of those?
We have. And then another one of our new designs, Wanted.
Pirate Wanted. With a skull and crossbones center front. This is all the flags that the guy made up. We even got a flag for Pirates Cove here. Beautiful.
And right now, our raincoats are 30% off.
So these are heavy duty rubber raincoats, 30% off. Rainy season is always coming, so come down and check it out. Nice bed.
And we have our Mo Gold honey.
Mo Gold, the most delicious golden honey you're ever going to experience. We still have quite a bit of that in stock, and we'll be harvesting again this month, I think, from what Chris told me. So be looking forward to a new batch, and then we'll have the bigger containers and a lot more for you. How about hot sauce?
Hot sauce. Back there.
We got plenty of different hot sauces, 5 different types. 6 different types. Made in Edgewater, Florida. Delicious. Come down and check it out. Okay?
Bye.
Bye, Amber. Have a good day.
Want to slide down?
Come on over.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Got a cozy little group here of 3 today so far.
About to get
We don't know if the doc is coming or not, right?
I think
You might be traveling.
have one, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so John, have you run for senator before?
Yes, I ran in 2022, previously ran Democrat. This year I'm actually running Republican. For personal reasons, right? When I look at the way that the parties are set up, I decided that I would align more on the Republican side versus running once again on the Democratic side. So
But let's have John tell people about
Oh,
who he is
yeah.
first.
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
So, my name is Hafa. My name is Jonathan Savares. John, I've been for my whole life. Jonathan is what my mom called me. My grandparents called me. When I'm in trouble at church, that's what the priest, when I was an altar server, called me. I come from the village of Derito. I was medically retired. Yes, we have a huge population. I was medically retired in 2013 from the U.S. Army. And when I retired, I came home because I was in bad shape. I wasn't the healthiest person. I was on a cane for 10 years. I was going through a bunch of medical issues. And I said, my wife was pregnant at the time. And I said, we decided it's best for us to come home. It's better to be around family when I was going through my medical issues, despite, and that was a trade-off for care, right? And this is why we need to really look at the healthcare system here and what we can do to build up and get people healthier versus waiting till and be a little more proactive about our healthcare, because I see what that leads to, and what has led to me and my recovery over the years. I'm a father of 2. I have 2 daughters, married to my wife Kathleen Pastrana Savares, who is from originally from Saipan. And then now her family has, just like many other people from our brothers and sisters in the CNMI who we're constantly praying for, because we still have family out there who are going through it. You know, still we have family who's lost their roofs, their house, and we constantly pray for the recovery of Saipan and our brothers and sisters in the CNMI, because we have family. We have my wife and her siblings, that's their roots, right? They're from there. They migrated from the Philippines. Their parents migrated from the Philippines to Saipan, and then they created homes. So we still have a lot of family. They have a lot of family who are there, and we pray for them. My mom was the former mayor of Delito for 20 years as mayor, 4 years as vice. My great grandfather was the former commissioner of Vicente San Agustin Beneventi, more commonly known today, Beneventi Middle School, is named after my great grandfather. So I come from a line of public servants, right? Ground people, municipal workers, and people who are striving to do better just at the village level, because that's where the people are. And I believe that's kind of the why I'm running, right? The why. I'm tired of the normal people like who live in the village, who are constantly coming up and saying, why would I want to do that? I'll work with the mayor because the mayor understands. I'm not going to go and try to go work at the bigger level, because they come down every couple of years and they ask us for their votes, but they don't get things done. I'm the kind of person, right? I watched when my mom was working for Maria Jo. Remember Typhoon Omar?
Oh, yeah.
My mom was working for Maria Jo. She was the shelter manager, because our house was not too far down from the shelter. And after Omar, me and my younger brother, who we went and we were the ones helping clean the classrooms. And these are the things that we grew up doing, right? When my brother had leukemia, I remember Make-A-Wish Foundation, we had 10 pallets donated by Pepsi. This is when, remember the old Diet Pepsi in the gold can?
Sure.
Yeah, they donated 10 pallets of that, and they put it in our front porch at my grandparents' house, and we recycled all the pull tabs. And it took us about 6 to 8 months of every day we're going out there doing.
That was when you could just pop top. You could take that off, right?
The one that we have today, where you have to, up and down. The old, the pull tabs where they would recycle it and give you a higher rate.
Yeah, they were heavier aluminum, right?
Yeah, so we did that for Make-A-Wish. It took us a while to get rid of it, but at the end of the day, these are the things, the small things that our family's done, right? We started. Me and my brothers, we initially the Delito Yellow Jacket, or not the Yellow Jackets, the Delito Soccer Club. It started at South Finnegayan with 4 families until what it is today. That was Coach Pascual. Me and my brothers were part of some the very first teams that were coming out of that Delito 4-H. We used to work out of be a part of the 4-H club. These are the things that the community doesn't have. The things for the kids. The things for the kids to go out right after school, instead of worrying, oh yes, we understand education is important, but there has to be a community component that attached to these things. And the government in Guam used to have so many community components that were attached to schools and Department of Youth Affairs. It was really about the youth affairs versus the disciplinary actions, right? Not just a summer program. We constantly had things that were going on. These are the things that are, I believe, are lacking nowadays. We used to camp out. I grew up camping out at Bertilian Point and Naruna before what it is today, right? Where the wildlife refuge, you can't even camp there anymore. And those are the things that I miss about our island, right? There was at the municipal level, when we empower our municipalities and empower our mayors, our community really strives. When we provide the resources for the municipal levels for our mayors to get to their people and push it out into the different schools, especially in places like Delito, Jigo, the larger villages, right? Where it's so vast spread. A lot of times I hear a lot of politicians say, we'll give you we're going to go push for another vice mayor. And I say, it's not about having more leaders or more elected officials where we're going to pay them a higher rate. It's about having more people to handle these community projects, to handle the cleanup in the village. And that's what we had before. We had a lot of Indians, not a lot of chiefs. And that's what makes Guam so great is we took care of the people at the ground level, right? And we stopped really worrying about that, and we started we forgot what made Guam such a strong place, a good place, a great place to live. And that's the background I come from, right? The church. I was an altar server for 12 years. I was the little boy who ran around when my brother was going through his chemotherapy in Hawaii. I was pokeside with my grandma and my grandpa, and my grandma counted money on Sunday nights, and I was the altar server, 6 years old at 6 o'clock mass, and I was at church all day because my grandma still had to come back at the end of the day because she was counting money at night, and so I'm leaving at 9 o'clock at night because our family had other dynamics, right? And I grew up in the village, that old school village feel that. Yes, I grew up in the largest village where it's not as prevalently seen because we're so spread out. Because you live on the other side of the village, right, Charlie? But you don't see that old school connection that Derrida has that's right there tied into the old village.
I mean, you have to drive through it.
Yeah.
And I would encourage everybody to take a drive through because, it's by crossing a street, it's like two sides, two different worlds. So. But John, one of the things, and I will say to the public, I'm very supportive of John. He is one candidate that I would put my backing on to get in. And the reason why I say this is because when you have, take the opportunity to talk to him, he's almost like Steve. He's got a lot of knowledge, you just got to pull it all together, right? Because based on, you just got to keep him on track, but, because he can just tell you the whole dynamics, history, and everything else. But you're a straight shooter. You straight talk. You have the one thing also is you grew up in that environment where your mom. I met your mom in one of the storm relief efforts at one of the schools, and she was hauling around food, and I mean she was making things happen. She was making things work, and I think that's what I feel is lacking right now across the board because. We're waiting for things to happen. And if we don't take the action and if we're not doers, we're going to get exactly what we have right now. And so I think that good background on your side. But the one thing that I did want to ask you was, something that could relay into, why you're running for the 39th is, you see Derrida is a good example of it has amazing potentials because like we have these pockets of just beauty, not only down here, Jeff, down here you drive it, it's amazing. I love it when days like this.
The South.
Yeah, the South. Why wouldn't you want? But Derrida could also be, and I'm just using our village as an example of, an opportunity where people can really come together and make it really beautiful. We have a lot of land up there, but how do you see Guam? Like, how do you see, from your perspective, getting into the 39? Obviously, you talked about going back to the way things used to be. Those are the things that we need to keep on the radar, but we don't, we learn from the past.
That's right.
But we have to drive the vision of what we want Guam to look like. So, getting into the 39th, what is your vision? What are you looking at what's your vision of
what
Guam?
do you want to do?
Yes.
First and foremost, one of the first things we need to do is address the needs at the municipal level. We need to, for me, we have to look at the base budget that each municipality is given, and I'll use the village maintenance funds. Each village right now today gets $50,000, and that's the base. Every village, whether it's Umatic, Maritzo, Derrida, Tumuning, it doesn't matter what village this is. Everybody gets a baseline. In Derrida alone, there's been years, and I guarantee you this year we're going to run into the same thing, that we're going to spend over $50,000 in fuel, and it's because we have more equipment, we have more maintenance needs, we have because the vehicles, a lot of municipalities have a lot of vehicles, but we just have more things to handle, right? So our equipment's constantly running $50,000, and you probably are going to use $50,000 just in your, this year to operate this place in field. You imagine with the generators, right? And we've been having on and off, kicking on and off. And I heard you talking about the fuel crisis, that how it's affecting you and the cost of it. So imagine that $50,000 just in Derrido, Jigo. I guarantee you, Derrido, Jigo, Barragata, Manila, Agate, and even some of the mid-sized villages like Chalapago or not, those guys are all going to blow that $50,000 off. Where are they going to come in and get the whip, the 2-cycle oil, the chain, the bar and chain, the additional stuff for their village maintenance? And because this is not about a labor thing, this is about a materials thing. This is the thing that I'm looking at is when we talk about village beautification, and we're going to get into the RF because junk cars I have a massive issue with.
Well, right now, the cost of fuel, especially diesel, has gone up. It was costing me $500 a day to run my generator, for after the typhoon.
Yeah. And John, so, but looking at that, when you look at the municipalities, when you look at the mayors and what they need, obviously some villages are bigger than others, right? So there has to be a comparative cost to ensure that they have everything that they need. But well, when we look at municipalities and the way their structures, I think one of the things that we need to do is empower the mayors to be able to get their own funding. Like right now, they're at the mercy of the governor.
You're right.
Is there a policy that you could propose that would strengthen the ability for the mayors to go out and get more money?
And I'm not going to
bypassing administration.
There is, and it's something that my mom talked about, and she was told it's political suicide, and it's going to be told to me straight up, this is political suicide, because I'll tell you, I've had a person who sat in one of these chairs tell me that never talk about taxation. One of the gubernatorial candidates, he said, but he's known to love tax. He's known to love tax, but he told me straight up, John, when I told him that this was one of my ideas, that he said, John, never talk about tax. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to the people of Guam that I'm not looking at some sort of tax increase to cover that deficit you're talking about. But there's only one real fair way to do this across the board, across the island, is to examine our property tax rates. Guam currently has one of the lowest property taxes in the nation. And I know people are going to may disagree with me, but wholeheartedly, we do this in a tiered structure that makes sense. But the money that is going to be generated from this raise will not go to the government of Guam's general fund. This is going in to cover the difference. If we look at the population and the different size difference between Pneumatic and Derrido, this is, or Jigo, if we use any other village, it's binary what village we speak of. But guess what? Property taxes, that revenue that's generated in Malasu, guess where that's going to go, Charlie?
Yeah.
Guess what? The property tax in EPAT and that you pay in that's going to go right. And currently, it doesn't go to EPAT. It goes into the bulk of that goes into the general fund. So what I'm saying is, if we're going to do a property tax increase, then let it stay in the municipality that property tax is generated, because that's real taxation that works. We talk about taxation that's going to work for us, and go to the things that are needed for our community. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say we shouldn't. I'm going to just magically, and the BPT is a whole different thing, because I hate the way the BPT is structured.
But listen, if it was up to me,
I know it's his big thing, and
if I zero taxes, right? I mean, that's just not, right. I mean,
Charlie is a no tax guy.
No tax guy.
No property tax, no BMP.
Because I don't see it working now. If you say that you will put policy where we can actually see my dollar working, I don't have a problem. If I give you a dollar and you show me, not you. I mean, you're going to create the policy. You're not going to be. But if the policy is structured, because the other thing, an interesting conversation that I had this week a lot is that there is a lot of policies, great ideas. You're going to introduce great ideas. But the functionality of these policies working is where these issues are. One of the conversations that I had was with the procurement process. And I went and looked at it. I looked at the procurement process. And let me tell you, we have a very good procurement process. But the mechanism for it to work was never introduced. So introducing policy, right? You introduce a policy, tax is going to work. But you're not going to be the one making sure that the funding is. So all I'm saying is, if I don't have a problem paying taxes if I see the money working. But if there is an introduction of some type of tax policy, it has to have a mechanism where it stays within the rails, and the money's not able to, administration's not able to come in here and oh, I need this for a pay raise, or I need to start making this magical accounting work. So that's something. No problem with taxation, but only if it's working for the people. If it's not,
So
zero tax.
and wholeheartedly, I agree with you, because I know that one of the biggest things that I'm going to have to contest with, and I know that I don't know if you were here that yet, but there was a scandal a couple years ago when it came to the mayor's council using their money, and then they cannot use municipal money for any off-island trips. And because it got just like a lot of things in the government of Guam, sometimes things get a little out of hand, and things get taken out of proportion, or it gets a little wild.
Even flying first class.
Oh well, yeah,
that's big money right there.
I can tell you that I think that if a government employee is flying anywhere, that mileage should be automatically donated back into, and I think it is. It should be going back into medical referral, and then because then we're not, at least we have something to help our people, and double dipping into taking a resource that we paid for, and then taking the benefits of that resource and then using it for our people. So it's like it's an additional win for our people that we have something, we may have something installed.
Well, I mean, it's our money, right? So I'm hearing that GVB is taking a trip over to Las Vegas. They're going to spend over $400,000 in spending, right? And so what is the return? And so trips have always been, and even in the private sector, whenever we would have to justify these trips, because it can get out of hand, right? With the per diem, the flights, the hotels, but we would have to come back and produce something like a hardcore. Okay, this is what the return is, right? I don't see that coming back, from these junkets that are taken, and so I think that that's an issue because it is the people's money.
Right, and I'll tell you, this sister city thing that the mayor's council has, and I've been very fortunate to be the driver to some of these mayors, and now the sister city program, the mayors are actually having to pay this out of their pocket. They're taking their money to go, because these are sister city relationships that their people are coming. We have a lot of Filipinos who are coming nowadays in these sister cities. When the mayor goes with the delegation of one or two people, out of their municipal planning council, they're paying out of their pocket. They're bringing, as well as the mayor or whatever staff they need to bring, right? But it's all coming out of their pocket because the mayors learned they got in trouble, and wholeheartedly, sometimes, like I said, it gets out of hand. Yeah. But here's what it is now. I've been part of the hosting committee for delegations of 40 people when we made an investment of 3. That's kind of the return that we should be talking about. If I send 3 people to Las Vegas, I better get 40, and guess what? The mayor's paid for that out of their pocket.
Yeah, and that's
we can say that we can say that we're going to spend $400,000, but here's something to think about. We spent how much money on airline incentives, but you know what? Who comes for a longer period of time? I remember a couple years ago they did and I know that I heard. I don't know if I've ever spoke to Jeff to ask him about. They did that airline incentive for the people in the States, the people who are from Guam.
Oh, during deliberation.
That's right.
That was a deliberation. And we got a really great turnout.
And guess what? We had a great turnout for liberation. Yeah. They weren't here for 2 to 3 days. They were out here in our restaurants. They were staying at hotels. They were staying, and they were here for 2 to 4 weeks.
Well, one was unfortunately there was also a storm that got hit, and their flights got canceled, but they had an extension of 1 week.
But guess what?
Yeah,
they unfortunately.
And for those who are watching, part of the program right now is where you would see Doc probably dropping a couple of F-bombs. So we'll just I don't know if yeah. Shout out to
Shout-
Doc
I
because
know.
he would be pointing at you right
How-
now and saying
I
GVB.
would.
And, yeah. He would be
I-
dropping F.
And I'm not gonna get mad at GVB for trying. What I'm gonna be upset about, is where's the ROI? Where's the ROI on the people's money? This is not GVB's money as people like to look at it. They went to the legislature, which is the people's house, and asked for this money. You came and you asked the legislature and the senators for this money in your budget request. And the reality is, you are saying that I'm going to do my due diligence and do the best that I can to get the best return on investment for this money that you are giving me. Right? And at the end of the day, do I feel like that is happening?
Yeah,
And,
no, I mean,
and I'm not mad at former Senator Regine Lee, and I'll tell you why. Because she's trying different things. Right? We went through the pandemic. We went through Marwar, the pandemic, Marwar, and then now we just finished Sinlaku. But at the end of the day, is the route that you're pivoting generating the numbers that we were hoping, and we're not hearing that. The numbers that are here, that they're I believe it feels like that the numbers that they're here that they're counting as visitors are the military contractors who are coming back and forth.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean that's a data we need to see. But
that's where their money's coming from.
Yeah.
The hotel tax that these people are paying on the stay on Guam while they're here.
Yeah, and they're locking in the rooms for 2 weeks to 6 months. And guess what? That means that the tap is going to be running. And it's great that.
Well, it's good to have the money, but should we be spending it on a huge staff at GVP? I mean, there's no tourists coming right now. You know, my theory is the people that pay the taxes, the hotels, should be the ones to say how the money goes. I really feel that way. And the politicians, I don't agree with a lot of things they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that cleaning up the island, looking for repeat business. I do like the idea they can bring down the airfare if that's, how the money's being spent. I like that. But the huge staff to do what? What are they doing?
Yeah, and I mean, talking about airfare, one of the breaking news this morning, right? Spirit Air is closed down.
In the States?
In the States, they just shut down overnight. One last flight landed 11:50 p.m. last night. Everybody showed up at the airport this morning.
No job.
Everybody was gone.
No travel.
Nothing. So, but one of the reasons was that these cost of fuel has gone up so much that they're not able to sustain the business. But they could have been saved if it was under, and I'm reading more about this, but the initial indication is this would not have happened if during the Biden and Buttigieg allowed for Spirit to merge with, I believe it was JetBlue. So, but again, when politics gets involved, I mean, these are the things that are going to happen. And, and so these are the things that we need to make sure that we take into account here. But going back to, Jeff, you brought up, we were together on Friday and I was asking you, I said, Tucumán looked a little empty, right?
It is empty.
And so, but to me, that would be alarming. And I don't see the sense of urgency. I don't see the sense of urgency. This is the reason why I have been very upset for the last couple of weeks, because we walk around, fuel's going up, surcharges are being implemented, the cost is going up. We have employees that are battling now, being able, to pay for fuel, which was over $6, right? And they have to drive themselves to get to work. I mean, they're paying fuel to get, to get to work. I mean, and so when we look at all those things, I feel like I don't see any hustle. I don't see any hustle from the 38. I don't see any hustle from the administration. I just don't see that sense of, sense of urgency. And that's my issue. There are so many policies, there's so many emergency things that could be going on right now to ensure that we stabilize the situation on the island, but I don't see anything happening. So to your point about the taxes, what other things are you looking at? Once you get in, what are the things you're looking at?
So readjusting and I believe this is going to be one of the first things that I want to tackle, is the recycling revolving fund and restructuring the way that the recycling recycling revolving fund. And you talk about it all the time. Give me back my $25. And guess what, Charlie? We're not going to give you back your $25 because here's why. Because we talk about taxation that's going to work or fees that are going to work for us. And right now, the recycling revolving fund does not work for the people who are doing this. The money currently goes from Department of, it doesn't go to the Mayor's Council. It doesn't go directly from to DPW. It goes from when you pay your fees and revenue and taxation to the Department of Administration, then to EPA, then to either DPW or the Mayor's Council of Guam. And you wonder why the Mayor's Council was so upset with this and said, we don't want anything to do with this. It's because the people who were holding the money, the people who are holding your money, your $25 and Jeff's $25. Actually, it's more like you have two cars.
Yeah, no.
You got 6.
You got, so you're 300. Dude, what is that? 25. That's what, 250, $300. Yeah, something like 100, whatever, 150. So whatever the number is, right? I got a math guy. His name is Alex Duenas. I wish he was with me. Please vote for him too.
Yes.
So, if we look at that money that you are paying and Jeff's paying, this is your money alone between the three of us up here. We could have removed one junk car just with that money. And the reality is, by the time it comes down to us, right, and goes to the ground, it goes from so many hands. And I'm not going to make accusations, but the more people who touch money, right, the more people have to be paid administrative costs. Administrative fees have to be taken out. That money is going to get diluted over the time when it makes no sense to me. If the Department of Administration is the one who handles the money and DPW and the Mayor's Council are the ones that are really the ones cleaning it up, then why, I understand EPA should come out, but we already paid EPA inspectors. We have these guys on the books. They're getting paid from so many other places. They have federal funding that's supposed to help protect the environment. That taxation is not there to pay EPA or to go to EPA. It's there so we can remove the junk, the white goods.
Well, right now, yeah, the white goods are important too, but let's talk about cars.
Oh, let's talk about cars.
I saw where Moracle was hired by the government to process and recycle or whatever they're going to do, right? And I think it said it's going to cost $400 a car,
right?
Something like that. That's ridiculous. To me, we should set up a big warehouse or whatever facility, take in the cars, take them apart, take the things that are useful, and if we can't use it, send it to the Philippines or whatever. But we should take the main bulk of that and not ship it away. We should make a reef out of it. I really believe this will work. And I've had people that are involved in doing that, like Don Baker's one of them, tell me this can be done. It has been done other places, and it was done on Guam before, but now we're still talking about sending it away, which is a barge or, a cost to us, right? Unless we're getting money for it, which, where does that go? I mean, does that help the recycling fund go down? Or does it go in the pocket to somebody that made the deal? I don't know.
Yeah.
But transparency, how many junk cars do you think there are on Guam?
You want to come study? I can show you 1,000 in 5 minutes.
No, I think it's
just take a guess. It's like 15,000.
No, it's more than that. I think
more than that.
I think it's almost closer to 50,000. They said
50,000. So we got to do something to use it to build the reef. It's like off of a roadie way out there, 300 feet of water. Place them where it's going to work to create maybe some environment where the fish will thrive in or something. But, to send it to the PI it isn't going to be cheap.
You had a good guy, and I wish he was here today because you're walking right into him, is Mr. Sablan.
Dave's great.
And my background in the military was in public health, right? I deployed as a preventive medicine specialist. I did air quality testing right by incinerators, burn pits, all those things that are bad for your lungs, which is great for me now because the VA has to cover that. but I live with I live with that, right? And but we talk about it, so now I can actually see, okay, there's ways to incinerate things that are good for that doesn't have that adverse air quality effect, right? I really think for decades and decades, and actually even beyond you and I, before you and I and all, we could put all our ages together in this room, and by that time, that many years ago, they were burning trash. They were burning trash and right at the back of their yard. Everybody was burning their trash right after this typhoon. And now what I think we should do is not keep burying trash. Because what we're seeing now at Luzon is where I talked to people who are right at the backside of that waterway. And they said, their water is being tested and it's coming out Hanum Calakas. And that's not
Dirty water.
Yeah.
Hanum Calakas.
And from my background in the military deals with water. Water is life. Water is life. And if we cannot protect our waterways and our fresh water supplies, then we are going to fail our people for on our island. And that is probably one of the most disrupting things, because we talk about the junk car issue, and I can take people around this just in Derrida, because a big portion of that northern aquifer is right in Derrida, or is right in Derrida, right above a bunch of our Chamorro land trust properties. And guess what? We grow more cars on Chamorro land trust, more cars than trees. We grow more white goods than kamuti. And that's sad, because these things are just sitting there rotting, getting burned. And then what's left with that metal? Then it's going to leach into the soil. We talk about why we can't fix our soil.
So why do you think we can't do it?
Why? Because somebody has to get paid. Somebody needs the credit. It's sad because
the money's being channeled
into
somebody that's prospering at the cost of the people.
It's nicer for people to say, look at what I've done. Look at what I'm doing. I don't care who does it, and I don't care who gets the credit. The way I was raised and what I've watched my family do year after year after year. If we had to stop every single time to ask for accolades, then guess what? Things would not get done. And you ask me the systemic problem on Guam, it's every time we want to do something, everybody wants to do a ribbon cutting. So we have to push this out 2 weeks. We have to push it out.
The ceremonial, it's all baloney.
What?
People don't protest enough.
Yeah,
the
people are sedate when it comes to issues that they're interested in. And because the politicians kind of just keep things rolling, away from the real facts and the real truth, to me, Guam should look right now at all the places that could be a clean water source and get rid of using these wells up in the north that have pollution surrounding them from previous military events or from cars or from everything else, oil thrown on the earth, seeping down. We should be looking at the ocean. We have a beautiful river right over here, the Tocha River. That should be looked at as a clean water source for feeding this whole southern area, if possible.
And that's what we need to do versus burying our trash. Because
burying the trash was caused because of politics. Dave had the incinerator and everything else years ago, but they didn't trust the people that were trying to implement it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And this is what happens with Guam. If there's money to be made, the politicians jump in there and see how it's going to benefit them first, and then disseminate to the people what they think they should know.
Just as a disclaimer, I don't know Dave Sablon. Personally, I do not know Dave Sablon. That's why I said I wish he was here, because when the incinerator idea keeps coming up for a long time, I was like, all right, cool. I'm anti-incinerator because I am diagnosed with COPD. I literally have a medical condition that deals with my respiratory.
I have the same thing.
Yeah, and when I heard him for a long time, but then I took his challenge when he was on Ray Gibson one time, and I went up and I looked at the system that he was talking about, and I was like, all right, cool. What's your? I went and I pulled up the data, the clean air evaluations, and I was like, all right, I can deal with that because I looked at data. I literally was getting the air quality testing, and you, Charlie, you've been to the Middle East. Remember the smokestacks? All black tar, all black smoke coming out. The systems there are new systems that Dave is talking about. It's not necessarily, I don't care which one we go with, right? To be honest, I don't care who gets the bid. All I care about it is it gets done. Something like this something gets done. Is there literally things that are going to clear that's going to bring the air quality back to normal. And if we can have that kind of technology done here, then let's burn at least some of this stuff, right? We have a rubber tire. You drive past the old Dedido substation today. There is probably, what they said, 2 million tires up there? 2 million tires. And that's on Tremor Land Trust. Guess what else it's on top of? It's on top of the Northern Aquifer, right? You go right next door, Global, and I'm just trying to be realistic, right? Global, right next door, you have a recycling center, and nothing against the recycling center because they're trying to pump out these cars, but they don't have the capacity.
Well,
right?
Nothing has been done efficiently and scientifically. Even the tires, these people that are storing the tires, they catch fire. And when that place catches fire, that is some real pollution. But there is technology to take these tires, melt them down, and use them to mix with asphalt, or different things could be done with them.
There's two things that I want to see done with recycled tires. One, first and foremost, you're right. Making aggregate on Guam is something we should be doing. We literally should not be. If we can make our roadways better using recycled tires by heating it up, I know what technology you're talking about. DPW just has to buy the right equipment. It's almost like
even glass.
Exactly.
All these beer bottles and liquor bottles and every kind of bottle can be crushed and added to asphalt to prevent people from skidding.
And it's proven. I mean, this technology.
It works in Hawaii.
It works in many places.
Yeah.
These technologies that we're talking about, but for some reason,
Our politicians don't want to deal with it. That's why.
Yeah,
they can't see a
for
benefit.
some reason
they're not going for it, right?
Agree.
Let me be a little witty here, because this is a better solution than patching the potholes in our village the way we've been doing it for years. All we do, and I'll tell you, this is one of the things that the mayors need. They need a generator and a tampering machine, because I've gone out there and I've patched pothole. We're given Cascal and blacktop, and you know how we have to do this? We get our shovel, we fill in the pothole, then we get the back of the shovel and we start tapping it down. So we're not really fully compressing it, and then we get a little bit of cold mix and then put it on top, and then we get the back of the back tire. This is such a Chamorro way to do this because we don't have the right resource, and then we reverse back and forth over the cold mix and just to taper it so it battens down. But guess what? It's not the proper way to do it. This is why the same pothole that's been there down the road from your house, down the road from Andrea's house, down the road from Charlie's house, is still existing, because when it rains hard for 2 or 3 days, that pothole is going to be popped back out and re-exposed, and it's slowly going to reopen. And it's just like it's you're fixing the scab, but you're going to pick at it. And then as time, the scab's going to reopen and the wound's not going to heal.
We need to resurface all the roads.
You're right.
With no skid and real asphalt, because the coral that was used before, I had a big problem out here for years that it was so slippery. There was like an accident, at least one a month out here. And eventually they changed it after politicians got involved and found the funding. And that needs to be done all over Guam. And the military will pay for this. The military has the money, and this is a tip of the spear, to spend on Guam. They have it, but they don't trust our government. They really don't. On how we spend money, how we've shown them in the past we resent them, or how we deal with, things that should be good for everybody. The military, Charlie and I are trying to get the military to vote here and be part of our community because they have to live here. A lot of them love living here. When we were doing our campaigning, I met a lot of people here in Telefofo that are in the military on the submarines and stuff, and they love Guam. They want to vote here. But I'll tell you, our politicians are what we got to work on. That's why we got to get guys like you with new ideas to tell us and then actually do them once you get there.
Yeah, that's the critical part, do as you say.
That's why I didn't want to build this. And I don't know if I've ever had the conversation with you. I was asked to, what am I going to do about this? The main things, right? Education, healthcare, public safety. And I was like, man, there's a lot of other smart people. I'm one of 15. I can't answer every question. But I can look at public safety the way I look at it, right? My platform is based off 3 things. Our community, which we talked a lot about, right? The villages and cleaning up our villages. Our families, we need to fix our parks. We need to make those safer and then start working from one point and working outward, right? Because it makes a lot of sense. If we can secure one location, just think about battle planning 101. In the military, we secure one location, we secure this. And then from this location, then we slowly go out and we work out. We're doing it already. We built the battle plan with all the neighborhood watch programs, right? But now we need to get our parks safe because I'll tell you, I coach basketball for one of the middle schools. I'm one of the assistant coaches. I'm not the main coach. I'm not that good of a basketball player. And yeah, so I'm not trying to be that guy. But when I'm out there, I got to make sure that those kids are safe. And I'll tell you, we have people who are unfortunately who are without homes or who are drinking in our parks. And these are drug and alcohol-free zones. We need our police and our if we look at public safety, let's start where the people are.
Do you think that all the parks should be alcohol-free?
I do. Well, I think that if you're going to do something and have a party down there or a concert, then you got to rent. If you're going to go to EPAL today or to the EPAL park down here, right, you have to get a permit for the rental of if you're going to do a big party.
Mm-hmm.
So you work with the mayor and you say, hey, look, we're going to have alcohol. Is it okay? We can work with the mayors to actually get a different permit so they can host alcohol. But it's the person who's signing up and adopting and doing the reservation for the pavilion, because we have to have some sort of liability because we're now creating something that's in the parks, right? Where we're asking our normal people who use this on a regular basis, hey, this is not for alcohol consumption. This is not for drug consumption.
I believe that when you rent the park for your pavilion or whatever, we don't need alcohol. Because what I believe in, sure, a lot of people are nice, civilized drinkers. But then if you get other people next to you that aren't nice, civilized drinkers, that could ruin your party. Here at EPAM Public Beach, which I have been exposed to for my last 50 years almost of running Pirates Cove, the people over there getting drunk, they don't clean up their trash. They don't care. They really don't. And I think that that's public property and drinking should be just not allowed. And if, like you say, get a permit because you have a concert or something like that, where you have security and you control the situation, fine, then there can be alcohol. This public park here at EPAM, GVB should spend the money and fix the restrooms and fix everything there and make it bulletproof and let everybody use it that wants to use it. All of the parks, I think they should do that with their money. Because the tourists like the parks, they like to go around, should be nice for them.
And that's the issue. I mean, there was a comment that was made last week on how it's been so great to see the community come out and really use EPAL Beach Park, the EPAL Park. And they're playing volleyball. And my thing was like, yeah, because they have nowhere else to go. And so this is my thinking is where we start gravitating towards saying that this is okay, but they're not really peeling back the onion to understand exactly. It's a great thing to see everybody come together in one park, but they're driving from several other villages to get to EPAL. So do they not have parks in their villages that are safe, where they can take their kids and play volleyball and soccer? And my issue is that they're going to EPAL because they see that There's police activity. It's safe, but again, we're not patching up the pothole. We're not making the park safe. And so I think this whole notion, this is where we kind of go into this realm where we're like, no, everything's okay, and everything's like, no, everything's not okay. The villages should have pristine parks, and whether it's GVB or Parks and Recs, the responsibility lies with somebody to be able to make these things happen. And the enforcement is
It
not there.
needs to be kind of privatized too, to maintain the parks.
Maintain it.
I do
Because we
agree
haven't
with that.
seen good reaction from GVB or, whoever else that takes care of them to do a good job. And if you take EPOW, I hardly ever go down there, but I went to a party a couple of years ago with some friends, and the fly situation, the red ant situation, all of these need to be addressed, and they can be. With a good performing government, they can take care of this, hire the pest control or whatever. But when I was going to get food, the people had to open it up and then close it because there were so many flies.
Yeah.
Here at Pirates Cove, I really work on fly control. And I get a lot because I'm close to the ocean. At low tide, you get flies, or public beach, whatever. But it can be controlled. We do it.
You put like a big, no bug sign?
Yeah, you tell the bugs, but not only there's things you can use to keep it away. And, using Simple Green with a citrus like that on the tables. And there's a lot of products that can be used in the earth and the grass that
environmentally safe, you're not. But yeah, I mean, and again, it takes a little bit of initiative to be able to do that, right? And that's I think the problem that we have, because when we've gone on our travels, I mean, I've gone into countries, where you'd be amazed how they take pride in making sure that you're able to use the public restrooms, right? Because you're a visitor. They want you to be like, this is our home. Welcome to our home. And I'm embarrassed to go to these bathrooms in these parks right now.
Well,
I mean,
they're terrible.
What do you think our tourists are thinking? What do you think? Like, I have friends that have come over, to visit me, and just kind of had these impressions, like, man, what's going on? Like, I know it's an island and we have this island living, but there's a breaking point, and I think it's gone to the point where it's not a priority anymore. We're just kind of like just letting it go. Like, nobody cleans the bathrooms. Everybody, the lines are broken. You can't use the toilet. Nothing's working. It's something has to give.
Here's what it is in my simple view. When you don't use the same toilet as me, because your mom, it's un continue, right? But that's all I have. And it's nice when you have extra. And when you forget the normal people who are the people using this, right? That's where to me society is messing up. Is instead of creating class, instead of creating differences in our society, we all talk about that these things all need to be done. The restrooms need to be clean. It's such the simple things that can be accomplished are the ones neglected. The simple things that can make somebody's quality of life, that pothole, that restroom, are the ones that are being neglected. And we talk about beaches that are neglected. Sadly, Derrida has a beach. We do. And most of our beach area in Derrida is actually military.
What about Tangeesan?
Except for Tangeesan. And so we have one beach that is accessible.
That used to be a beautiful beach.
When GPA used to be the ones to run that.
Well, even the power plant there.
Yeah. What are we doing?
I mean, my father worked at that power plant, by the way, and it was a good running plant at the time. But, we come in with something new, and then we just let that thing sit and go to waste and turn into a pollution hazard or whatever, right? Everything has to be used to its fullest.
From what I heard, I know people still fish out there in Tangeesan plenty, but
some people died eating seaweed out there too.
Yeah, but you know how many junk cars are down in Tangeesan now?
Oh yeah, everywhere.
People use
have you been to Tangeesan?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure you know.
People use the energy to take their trash down. Like these are not just small bags. These are big.
Go hide their trash down
Yeah,
there.
I mean, and that takes a lot of energy to be able
Well,
to.
if somebody patrolled, you think that we could curb that, right? Or
Yeah.
do something.
It's sad because that's the only beach in Delito that's accessible to the community on a regular basis, right? And yet they threw it on the mayor's office and said and DPW said, "Oh, you guys take care of it." But the Delito mayor's office didn't get any more resources. DPR didn't get any more resources, and yet this would be such a great place for people in the village to be like, okay, look, go past Two
It
Lovers
was
Point.
before, you know,
I
to let
grew up going
something
down there.
go, to let something go bad is the worst.
Well, even this Ipan Beach, growing up, we used to drive down, and there used to be a lot of people who had parties down here because the pavilions were operable. Remember, even in Tengisan, they had that nice pavilion that GPA built, and over time they had it destroyed because we couldn't even maintain the top. It actually even had a cooking area inside. People would rent it from GPA.
So sad.
It's
Very, 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 very sad.
It's you ask us why people want to leave is because we make it where people don't want to stay because we take away the things that are nice for people to live on Guam.
So have we elected the wrong people in office? Is that why this is happening?
Well, I think it's a combination.
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
I
say yes.
Yes, I say yes. Say yes.
There is a yes behind that, and there's also a no behind that.
Look at your governor.
Because
okay?
when you're one of 15, okay, let's start there.
Oh, in
right?
fairness to where you're going, that's true.
So
You're only one person.
I'm one of 15, and that's why I tell people I can't make promises because at the end of the day, I know I have to go sell this to 14 other people, at least 7 other people to get this through. I know what I'm up against. That's why the things that I talk about, I'm ready for I'm telling these guys who are getting elected, if I'm fortunate enough to get elected, I'm telling you straight up, this is what I'm chasing. This is what I want to do. This is how I intend to do it. And I'm not going to sit here and lie because, and I'll tell you, when I ran in 22, there were people who literally were running on the same slate as me, running side by side with me, who stole off my platform. And Time Amala, you know who you are.
There's a lot of people in the comments.
Oh, there are?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I'm
people.
sorry. Hey, did I make you mad? I'm sorry. If I made you mad, please vote for me still.
Okay. We want to hear what they have to say.
Yes, everybody has a voice, and you're tapping into something that Charlie and Jeff and we all stand for here, the Pirate Nation, is the idea of a third-party system. And the third-party system is not about Democrat or Republican, or even for this, mine is not even independent. It's people like you, Fernando, people that were trying to make change, but didn't get the support on either side of the party system. I know you want to debate about it.
Yeah.
I'm not debating.
What are
The comments.
Yeah.
We have Johnny Utah who jumped in and said Guam is a Democrat's island. Gov Guam doesn't want its visitors to be comfortable. It wants its visitors virtue sympathy. One second. It wants the visitors to know how bad the United States is. Gov Guam is mentally ill, just like the Democrats. This is Johnny's take. We always get the hardest comments.
No, and just in response, right, to I see him post every week.
Yeah.
And I read all the comments that you guys are getting as well. It's because it's challenging the narrative that you guys are talking about. And I can tell you that his sentiment is not far from people that I've talked to. And here's my thing, is we're yelling at the wrong people. And I talk about it all the time. We're right? We're very fast to yell at the military when they're trying to work with us and negotiate with us. And we're very fast to yell at the federal government to you owe us this, this is what we want. And we want to raise our voice. But I look back at the history, the late, we look at the history of great leaders on Guam, and you hear the story of people like former Congressman Antonio Wampat, right? How he went out there and he had to work with the federal government and build that bridge. And to get the things that the people of Guam needed. It wasn't necessarily about yelling at the government on the side of the road here. It was about working through their system. This is Uncle Sam's system in the sense that we have to navigate. And I'll tell you, the government of Guam has two different major places: the Department of Interior that we should be working through, as well as the Department of Defense, as well as we need to be on both sides of the Department of Interior, which is the territorial side, and the native inhabitant side. Because if we can tap and start pulling more grants on that side, then guess what? I'm talking about fixing Chamorro Land Trust, getting the infrastructure that is deserved, that needs to be out there, cleaning up the Chamorro Land Trust properties. And Mr. Utah, you're right. We're yelling at the wrong people because we're out there protesting against them. And guess what? The only people who are destroying our island is ourselves. We're the ones who are watching the people dump that drunk car versus calling the cops and getting the license plate of that car who's doing it, or the picture of that. We're the ones putting it there.
The cops coming when we call them too. I mean,
Well,
it has to be a
of
proactive
course.
response, that makes things work.
Of course, there needs to be a level of proactiveness. And we saw them. They caught 6 people dumping junk cars in Manila a couple months ago, right? And it's fast. And I'll tell you, you know how fast it is to dump a junk car? You hitch it up. You could be less than 30 feet, 100 feet from that place. You hook it up. You drop it, and then you throw a bottle. Never mind. We're not gonna get into the rest of it.
Don't tell this.
Yeah, it's because I see it happen, right?
Yeah.
I think these cars are worth money.
They are. They are
Not having to be an expense of 400. I think they're worth money if we do it.
okay, but then you're missing the part where some of these cars are full of trash. Guess who has to clean up the trash? This is the mayor's office staff. That's why I'm mad. I harper on EPA, because EPA is not the one coming to take out the trash. It's DPW out of these cars. It's EPA, it's DPW, and it's the mayor's council community maintenance workers. They're the ones coming out, and then guess whose budget that comes out of? It doesn't come out of EPA's budget. It comes out of the mayor's council or DPW's budget to dispose of this additional trash that's put in there. Then they have to drain the fluids. Then they have to, but then what I firmly believe we should be doing is recycling it somehow, some way, because at the end of the day, this is the things that we should be doing. Versus, I don't know if I'm sold on the reef, and I understand you know more about water than I do, but I need to see.
It's not that I know more. It's just that I feel we could investigate, see what's being done in other places that work.
I don't
We are
disagree.
Guam, in the middle of nowhere, right? Maybe we need to bring in a recycling expert to help us.
And
There's nothing wrong with that, because as long as it works, that's a solution.
And Miss Peggy Denny, shout out to you, because she does a lot for recycling.
Oh, she does tons of recycling.
She recycles
But,
tons.
but talk about it, and we're getting to the close to the top of the hour, so we'll give you an opportunity to kind of close this out, and give the people an opportunity to listen to why they should vote for you. But I was looking at a picture of the administration sitting with in a round table with some of the military leaders, and the staff that the governor had around is a joke. Like, the people that she had to the right and to the left of her, I would be laughing, because I see and I know personally on the other side of the military side, and close friend as well, sitting there. I can't understand how we have people sitting in that administration next to the governor that have no idea of what they're saying, what they're doing. And it's really unfortunate. I looked at that picture and I started laughing. They showed me the picture. And I said, look who's around this, the governor, right? Her staff right there have no idea. And then look who they're dealing with on the opposite, admirals, generals.
Yeah.
They're making a joke. They laugh at the staff that the governor has, at the chief of staff. They laugh at them.
I think
Trust
the
me.
military and the feds know that it's a big problem to deal with the government here.
It is.
That's one thing you and I are going to change. Right?
No, absolutely. And that's the other thing, that I know that we talked about getting the money for the cranes, but let me just tell you, inside sources that I personally have in DC that dealt with the program say otherwise, because we would have gotten the money a long time ago if it wasn't for the Port Authority and Rory and the administration creating this other roadblocks and trying to do their own thing on how they're able to achieve the money. So
Trying
yes,
to benefit from it somehow, guaranteed, right?
Probably,
What's for
absolutely.
me?
But let me tell you, they said that money would have been here a long time ago if it wasn't for this administration, if it wasn't for Rory and them trying to create this other system. So very interesting. Now these are inside sources that I personally know that I have in DC that are telling me this.
I believe it.
Yeah, we also have several other people in the comments. Won't go through everyone here, but Jerry Yingling, he was on our show previously. He said, shout out to John.
He's good. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah,
to
no,
John.
Jerry's another strong candidate. Very strong.
He's very similar
Yeah.
to you. The story is very similar. You know, it's not about solution. It's not about which side we sit on. It's about the solutions. His comment here, and I will read it to you. Just give me a second. Jerry says, the Iran war and jet fuel prices resulting from the war caused the downfall. Biden has been gone for a long time. When will it be the GOP's economy and quit blaming others in the past? Right, guys? I know we have a bunch of Republicans.
No, when they leave, Jerry, when they leave, it's their economy.
Okay.
No, but no, I mean, and I get it. I mean, and then again, those are sound bites that we use and that the president has used, and absolutely, there has to be a level of responsibility with the current administration. Absolutely, Jerry, completely agree with you. But there's also, I mean, you can't fully blame, similar to what we do here, right? Similar to what we look at the governor and say, you know, the governor inherited certain things, you know, from rolling administrations that, you know, she couldn't control. So completely agree with Jerry on his comment. Absolutely.
So just to
and Jerry, and I support Jerry as well. He's a very strong candidate.
I do. Can I just add one thing? Because coming after my president real quick, our president, because he's the president of all our people of the United States. President Trump.
Who also recently reportedly offered a bailout to Spirit Airlines.
Correct.
So, but here's one thing that Guam can really avail of. He has a rural healthcare initiative. And my mom, shout out to my mother, former Mayor Savares, because my mom is still on that the community health center board. And she's pushing. We just got a doctor here in Iran, an internal medicine, that brings healthcare closer to Iran. And guess what? The people of Iran, I guess, I understand. And the people in Iran, okay, law.
That's where she's from.
Sensitive, okay. Yeah, and President Trump's rural healthcare initiative is something that we on Guam and the community health centers are going to be working on, and we're going to do whatever we can to move that forward, because Guam is considered rural healthcare, and if we can be smart about it, we can get healthcare into the southern villages in a manner. Man, come on, Charlie. We have to be positive somewhere. I'm looking at but I'm looking at how can we get healthcare closer to the people, because it's about preventative healthcare. Dr. Akamoto, shout out to him. I miss him. I wish he was here to drop a couple F-bombs, because that's the standard operating procedure around here. But yeah, I do think that I wanted to make sure I touch my healthcare, but also we talk about Mr. Yingling, and hopefully we can work on that when we both get in, Uncle Jerry. Yeah.
But no, so you know, final comments before we play the game. But I turn it over to you, John. Just kind of close your appeal to the people on why they should choose you.
You know,
and vote for you.
First and foremost, let me thank you, the Pirate Nation, Jeff, Charlie, Andrea, my wife, and my kids especially, because we had to make an adjustment to our mass schedule, because Sunday's really my family day, and actually outside they brought up my in-laws. Shout out to them because they brought them down. But I would like to say, first and foremost, thank you, Guam, for allowing me to run. Thank you to all the people who signed my petition, all the messages, the countless messages of support, the people who just randomly stopped me. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would be remiss if I did not ask for your votes this coming election from everybody, because this is not just about me. This is not about Charlie, not about Jeff, not about my family, not about just any single family. This is about Guam as a whole. And in order for Guam to get back to where we need to be, we have to get to the basics of our system. And the basis of our system on our island is at the municipal level. And first and foremost, those are the people who take care of you on a daily basis. Those are the people in your village who you call. And that's the base of my platform. Because at the end of the day, those are the people who need the help. And with their help, I get there. And we really make change for Guam. And we really put power back into the municipalities for our community, for our family, and for Guam. Thank you all, and I really appreciate the time to Charlie and Jeff for having me. And thank you, Guam. One love.
All right. So with that, we're going to move into the game. Everybody's opinion counts. Everybody's voice matters. And what we're going to do is everyone who's watching, you can go to hafahour.com to play along with us. The game is very simple. You give a +1 or -1 to the gubernatorial candidates.
Sort those out. I don't know which.
Currently. So what you'll do is go to hafahour.com and you just give a +1 or -1. You can play along with us right now. Jeff, Charlie, and John will give us their +1s and minus for the week, and it will help all the voters understand the power of voting, but also how to think about who you vote for and why. And we can start with Charlie. John, you'll go last. So, sure. Charlie.
Okay. So my +1 for this week is for Jeff and I. We officially filed on Friday, but there may be a twister to this journey. So you got to stay tuned. There'll be more comments, more information coming out about our filing process, and so stay tuned about new information. But it's Jeff and I gets my +1 for this week. My -1 for this week is going to be Blas and Okada. And the reason why I say this is because I'm concerned about the speaker's decision to be pro for the 3238, which is giving out EPOW point back to the Paris family. Very concerning about that, very concerning. And he was very adamant saying that he will be supporting the bill, which kind of goes against everything that we've been talking about. So it's the people's money, the people's property. Now it's going back to the Paris family, or at least this is the intent. So I'm concerned because the speaker has done some great things, but I'm concerned about making that decision. So this one could probably take me away from the support. So he gets my -1 for this week.
Okay, Jeff, John, you go last. Jeff.
Okay. My +1 for me and Charlie, because like he says, we still have obstacles to go through, but we're not going to stop. We're going to continue, and we're going to make Guam the best place you ever lived. My -1, I'm with him because I listened to Blas talk about his full support for giving the land back to the Paris family.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a step backwards. And a lot of people think that there's coercion involved and there's a lot of tainted things involved. And he should probably not say anything, then come out and say, all that money's going to be wasted that was paid already.
Okay, John.
So I watched the show from the beginning, so I know my -1 is to Marcel Camacho. Is he even running? Well, hold on. Here's my
Oh, he took the safe route. John took the safe route.
Here's my rationale. Is one, you came out with fire and fury from the beginning. You said it was gonna be make MEGA, make our island great again, and and how are you gonna make our island great again when you didn't even pick up a packet? Did he pick up a packet?
I don't think so.
No.
So he didn't pick up a packet, but he made a bunch of noise about it. It makes me sad because I want more people to run. I would have even loved to see him run in the Republican slate, because at the end of the day, if he's willing to run for governor, he's willing to run for. You should be really willing to serve if you were there to really serve the people, then you should have at least made an effort to do something. But don't come out and make a stink about something and say you're going to do this and not even step up to the plate, not even to pick up a packet. So you no offense, Uncle Marcel, you are going to get my -1. And it isn't the safe bet.
That's a safe one. But we'll let it go. We'll let it go. It is a game. It is a game.
We don't want to get hit with this now. Minuses.
So my +1 is actually going to go to Charlie and Jeff, because at the end of the day, Charlie and Jeff, to be coming on as an independent ticket, knowing what's stacked against them, I know what it would take for them to get into the general election ballot and to run and be like, even though the odds are stacked against us and we have to get what is it, 5%? 20%?
5,000 votes maybe.
Yeah, 20% of the total voter population to come out and vote on the independent ticket and not vote for a single senatorial, not vote for a single gubernatorial, congressional ticket, and take away from that them exercising their right. I think it's a brave move. It's a big, bold move. And I'm hoping that all that your election politics can get resolved and we can see you guys on the ballot, because I just firmly believe that we need to have more options. And independence is an independent ticket, and making it a little bit easier for our voter initiatives to be had, I think is something that we really need to be looking at, just because it is going to help to broaden the voices of our people.
Okay, and I just want to throw out there, Jeff and Charlie, I think this week was a very taxing week for not just you guys, but for everyone that threw their ticket in. And I do want to say, as a reminder, Jon is having an upcoming event on the 20th.
Yes. Oh, yeah, May 21st. I was very much at odds of if I was still going to carry on and do another fundraiser, knowing that Sinlaku just came and gone. I was out there on village recovery right after the typhoon, which is something I've been doing for years. And I prayed, I went to church, and I talked to a bunch of my friends and my family, and they said, Jon, here was the guy who made it. I have a friend who works for GPA. He's a line guy. And he said, Jon, run your fundraiser because we're already at 100% power. And I said, if my friend at GPA is saying we're recovered, then I'm okay with it, right? So May 21st at Good Times in Tumaning, that's a Thursday, 6 p.m., $20. I'm not trying to do, I don't have friends who can really afford the big ticket, so I do $20 fundraisers, purely because if my friends can't come, then I'm not, you know what I mean? It's for everybody.
And that's going to get you $20
yeah, a drink, and then of course we'll have raffles. I think I'm going to do a band this time. My wife said we're not going to do a band. And then a
DJ may work, right? DJ?
No, Good Times.
Will you have an MC?
Yes, of course. And my MC, I'm very privileged. My normal MC is Real Joe Cruz. Shout out to the Real Joe Cruz. You had his counterpart, his boss in here last week, Ray Gibson. So Real Joe's the one that usually does my MCing. And if Real Joe's unavailable, we do have a backup who's he's a very funny comedian type style. So we always have a good MC to try to come out and keep everybody engaged. But if you guys are free and you're compelled to, if you feel like you want to share a little bit of your money with me and our campaign, actually it's not even for me. I wish I could have used it to send money to Saipan with some Loku relief and bought some stuff, but the FCC tells me I cannot.
No, you cannot.
So, but the 21st of May, please come and join us. We really appreciate it and hope to see you there.
Yeah, and so you can reach out to them on their social media.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, pay at the door.
Okay.
Good times at good times, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. And so, the final big question. What's the big question?
Am I ready to dance?
Oh, there you go. You heard the song. All right, guys.
The conversation on the way here after church.
The one conversation we didn't talk about, but maybe we'll save it for later, is the medicinal.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. See if we can get the song playing.
Oh, yeah.
Right. How's the hour going?
I'm going to do the Charlie move. Or the Dr. Akimoto move because he's not here.
Yeah, the Charlie will love that, Charlie.
The doctor's the stitch.
Over a die Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for.
You know, as much
That's it? Okay,
yeah.
good.
Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy!
We hit dock on the
Ahoy!
kind of missed it a little bit.
You know,
Over a die Guam, hear that I come alive. From Jeff's Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud.
No, I'm not trying to talk. It's just like
Leaning close, let the real talk run. How good nya to man. Everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship. No fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth. Watch the whole place rise.
I want to be a
Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy. Sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true sicker, yeah, we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo, Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this day, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagonya to month, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise.
Rumble. The last three was Rumble or Robert Leon Guerrero.
Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered.
Greg Calvo.
Yeah.
You know Greg Calvo.
I know everybody. Well, everybody knows me, I guarantee.
Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true
So, well, I don't know.
we
Yeah,
deliver
the
a
old
Guam
man, pro-life, very much pro-life. Yeah. And so, Greg Calvo and Brandon Vera were the last three.
So Brandon was able to get in.
Yeah. And nothing told me that Brandon wasn't going to make it. You know,
Yeah, I mean, he's committed.
In the tight scene, Guam sing along.
Office, that's like, they're the ones really pushing us for
Independent pirate party.
Yeah.
Unfiltered. Okay, wait and shake hands now.
Thank you.
Thank you for thanking us. Thank you, Charlie.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Mabuhay, salamat po, arigato, see you later.
I was saying my name.
Almost done.
Time to go.
It took just 24 hours for us to lose control of the city. Tonight, Gotham's relying on emergencies.
Take a deep breath. Can you tell me exactly what happened? We were outside the outlets when someone tried to...
under these statutes, you don't have the authority.
And
Responsible gun ownership is the law. Coming from that appellate.
Now,
Before they realize what we know.
I understand the.
I'll make you proud, Grandma. Promise.
That's better. Okay, we're done.
For property lines.
Sir, please wait here.
I need you to stay by the car.
Okay, I got it.
Just tell me what happened.
Has been breached. Confirmed reports of multiple attacks in the capital.
Please, we're now in a state of alert.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. You that wanna know what we're all about. It's like this, y'all.
It's your record. I cannot get it out in the mail tonight.
Concentrated power of will. 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100%
Come on in. Yes, but I didn't.
Details emerging of a major political scandal shaking the island.
But I didn't expect it here. Where else would it be?
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight. Yeah, I said it, we are. This is Rodney.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And each story is told in a different way. Sometimes I hear the same birds singing from past weeks, telling of their adventures since last seeing each other.
Welcome to Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy! Ahoy! Aye! Over a die Guam, here that I come alive. From just Pirates Cove, we sailing for what's right. Captain Jeffrey Pigwell keep the compass true. Andrea on the map, Guam directory coming through. Tigs with the signal, save our startup loud. Doc Akimoto on deck, AMC proud. Clap, clap. Leaning close, let the real talk run. Ha good nya to man, everybody has one. No whoosh on this ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, ahoy, sing it unfiltered. Guam sauce for true seeker, yeah we deliver. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Guam Unfiltered. They do to Santa Rita, in Alohan too, Talo Fofo in the reading. This one's for you, Don Farrell in the room, Charlie Hermosa near. We ask real questions, make it crystal clear. Tenorio Calvo Ada, Camacho names in the race. No banners on this deck, just truth to face. Independent pirate party, stand firm, stand tall. Continue to continue, answer the call. Clap, clap, lean in close, let the real talk run. Hagotnya to month, everybody has one. No hush on the ship, no fear in our eyes. Raise the sails to the truth, watch the whole place rise. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah, we deliver it. Guam Unfiltered. Everybody now, Unfiltered. White ladies breach when the night wind blow. Truth don't scare when the truth must show. Chief Gagao and Matapang, strength we carry on. Sarina in the tide sing, Guam sing along. Continue to continue. Independent pirate party. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Hafa Hour, Guam Unfiltered. Ahoy, sing it, don't filter it. Guam sauce for true seekers, yeah we deliver it. Tune into Hafa Hour, Guam.